In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a really wholesome dal using lentils, tomatoes and spices. I'm Fiona. Welcome to Fiona's Food for Life. First we're going to chop an onion. So the easiest way to chop an onion is to peel it and half it, or half it and peel it. But the trick is to keep the root intact. I like to use red onions in this. They're a little bit sweeter. You could also use white onions if you prefer. So, the next trick, we're working on a flat surface, which is nice and safe. We're going to cut through about 3 or 4 times horizontally, but only 90% of the way. You can still lift the onion up. Then we're going to turn and we're going to go down vertically, maybe 5 or 6 times, depending on the size of the onion. Again, only 90% of the way. And then you turn and it chops into nice, small, even pieces. So there is a separate video on this, but just to show you again, it's 3 or 4 times horizontally, then maybe 5 or 6 times vertically, but only 90% of the way, and then you turn and you chop 100% of the way through. Now, the method that I'm going to use to cook these onions is called sautéing in water. So this basic dal recipe, it's the most popular recipe on my website, and this is the basic healthy version. So you can do a number of things to change it about. You could add in chorizo or chickpeas, or you could add in spinach at the end. So there's lots of different, or coconut milk, lots of different variations. But the initial one that I'm doing is just the really healthy one. Lentils are low GI, which is really good for a slow release of energy. And this dish is really handy. You can make it once, say at the weekend, and it'll last you for the whole week. It freezes really well, it's great as a lunch, it's great as a supper. So into the onions, we're going to add some of the water. So what you want to do is about 1.5 centimeters of water into the bottom of the pan. And by the time that water is evaporated, the onions will be nice and soft. I'm going to add in some garlic. This garlic crusher, it's the Zyliss one, Z-Y-L-I-S-S. Really handy, nice design. You don't even need to peel the garlic. And it does actually come with a little gadget that you can use, so you don't even have to touch the garlic with your hands. And you can get that on Amazon. So we have the 2 onions and the garlic there, 3 cloves of garlic. So dal is kind of between a curry and a soup. I tend to serve it like a soup, but traditionally in India you would have your curry with rice and then dal on the side. The one I'm making now is a red lentil dal. So the very first step is actually to soak your lentils. So you can buy these really good value in large bags in the Asian supermarket, or you can buy them in the supermarket. So you've got 500 grams of lentils there. It'll often cost only about €1. And you will have enough to feed 6 people out of this. So it really is good value. So often when I would make this from start to finish, I'd have it made in about 20 minutes. So I would tend to soak them in warm water initially, just to speed up the process. Then I'm going to grate in my ginger. Now, if you are using organic ginger, you don't need to peel it. You can just grate straight away. So now in the pot we have the onions, garlic and ginger. Now I'm going to prepare some of the spices that go into it, because that's what really makes it. The recipe I'm giving you, it isn't too hot. If you want it hotter, that's no problem. You could add more cumin or more of the curry powder. If you found the one that I make is a bit too spicy, then you can just reduce some of those spices. So I have 2 teaspoons of salt. Now in recipes where, when you're cooking from scratch, you do need to add some salt. It brings out the flavour, but also our bodies need salt. The dietetic guidelines to reduce salt, that would generally be aimed at someone who is eating a lot of processed foods, where there's a lot of hidden salt. So we have 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of turmeric, Now, turmeric can be hard for our bodies to absorb. So 3 things I would always think about when I'm working with turmeric. One is black pepper, the other is heat, and the other is moisture. So I'm adding black pepper here. We will be adding our heat in a moment and our moisture. So therefore we will be able to get the nutrients from the turmeric. If you're adding it into your smoothie, you'll probably only get the moisture. You probably won't do the black pepper or the heat. So just keep that in mind. Then I have a pinch of cayenne, 2 teaspoons of the cumin powder. Now, I buy my spices, I bought them in these jars a long time ago, but now I go to the Asian supermarket, I buy larger bags. I find they're much, much fresher, and I just keep refilling these handy containers. So the 2 teaspoons of cumin, and then we have 3 teaspoons of, I'm using a medium curry powder. If you like it hot, you could use a hot one. If you like it, milder, you could do it that way. Okay, and then sometimes, it's not in the recipe, but sometimes I will add in smoked paprika just to add a little bit of a different flavour. So add a teaspoon of that. So we've got loads of lovely spices here ready to go into the dal. So at this stage, almost all the water is evaporated from the pot. So we have our onions are sautéed with the ginger and the garlic, and now we're going to add in our spices. If at any stage you're working with spices and you feel the pan's a bit hot, they look like maybe they're about to burn, you can just add a little bit of water. The spices can take the water and it'll just help cool them down a little bit. So now we have a beautiful base for the dal. I'm going to add in 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. My secret ingredient, which is a Bragg liquid aminos. It's really, really nice. It's the protein from the soybeans. So it gives a really nice depth of flavour. So we've got about 2 tablespoons of that going in and 1.5 litres of water. So now into this, we are then going to add our lentils. So with the lentils, it's really important to rinse them off properly so that the water runs clear underneath. So now we have the lentils rinsed, the water's running clear, and we're going to put them into the base here. We're going to bring it up to a boil and then turn it down to simmer and leave to simmer for about 20 minutes. So the dal has now been cooking for about 20 minutes. You can see the lentils they're nice and soft, beautifully cooked. There's a lovely smell from it. And I like to serve it in a bowl with a spoon of live natural yogurt. And there you have dal with live natural yogurt. It really keeps really well, freezes well, and it's great to take to work to have for lunch. I hope you enjoyed that video. Now check out how to make bolognese or chop an onion evenly. Click on the link below to subscribe, and please like and leave your comments. I'd love to know what you think. Thanks a million, we'll see you soon.